UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, scheduled to fight Colby Covington December 14th. So you were really aiming for that MSG main event. Are you a little disappointed now that you're on a different card?
No, I'm not disappointed at all. I have a fight. You don't fight, you don't make money. And my daughter likes nice things. So, I got to be able to buy her nice things. I've got to be able to take care of my family. So if I don't fight, I don't make money. It don't matter where it happens. I have a fight, and that's the most important thing. But I was a little kind of down that it wasn't MSG because I told the guys at MSG, that was running MSG, that I would do everything to bring that fight there. But, it goes to show that there's a lot of different moving parts behind the scenes to make a fight happen.
So you've been the champion as of March, if my internal calendar is correct. Has it felt any different? Any extra pressure on your shoulders now with the crown?
Not necessarily pressure, because at the end of the day, I can block out what everybody's bringing to me. It's been a lot of different energy, that's for sure. But, as far as pressure, no. I put enough pressure on myself when I go out there, and I leave no stone unturned when I prepare for these fights. So, not added pressure. I would say the biggest change is just, my time. This has disrupted my time a lot. I don't have a lot of time to myself anymore, to where a lot of my time is accounted for now.
All right, so have you felt a difference as far as the fan response? Or have you been treated in the public any differently since you've gotten the belt?
Absolutely, because now the fans know who the welterweight champion of the world is. Before it was Tyron Woodley, and so they treated Tyron Woodley like the champion. Now it's Kamaru Usman, and they treat me like the welterweight champion of the world.
All right, so Woodley, as champion, took a lot of criticism for a variety of things, and didn't seem to resonate with a lot of fans for, once again, a variety of reasons. Where do you think you differ as far as your reign with the title? Where do you think you can kind of pick up that mantle?
Well, I think our focuses are completely different. I think kind of Woodley was all over the place at certain times with his focus. Even now, your focus should be just getting in there and getting a fight, and not, putting out wish lists and things like that. We differ in a lot of different ways. For me, necessarily, people are gonna like me, people are gonna hate me. That shouldn't necessarily determine the course of my life, where it goes. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be true to myself. I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna steadfast to my values and my virtues and things like that. And if people like it, people like it. If they don't, they don't. At the end of the day, if I can look myself in the mirror and know that I am my true self and my daughter, and I'm making my family proud, then that's all I care about.
There's definitely a lot of mutual respect before and after the Woodley fight. Now it's the exact opposite with your next opponent in Colby Covington, and I can even see the look on your face change. Like you really want to get your hands on him. So how much are you afraid of those emotions kind of taking over in the wrong way in that fight?
Absolutely not, because I'm a competitor. I didn't get into this sport because I wanted money or fame or anything else. I'm a competitor. I wanted to compete. I've been competing for a long, long time. I've been wrestling for a long time. And I've kind of just found a way to mold myself, mold my mind into competing. So each and every time, you're going to be scared when you go into a fight. It's a fight. And then you add 20,000, 25,000 people in the arena watching, and millions all over the world watching. So it's nerve-wracking. It's going to cause anxiety. That's what the human body goes through. But only the strong can hold all that emotions and make it happen. But look at the last fight. I was fighting for the title, and then I had all the different distractions. Even this clown showed up in my open, workout to try to distract me. I had Ben Askren making a lot of noise, trying to distract me from the task at hand. Even Tyron Woodley saying whatever he was saying to try to get me out of my zone. But it doesn't matter. I chose this. It didn't choose me. I chose this. And, and that's what I have to do. December 14th, I'm going to block it all out, step inside that octagon, and put on another whooping.
So as composed as you are, it's definitely a personal thing that you feel toward Colby. Evidence as far as the fight after the fight in the casino. Now, John Jones had an interesting tweet when Robbie Lawler was unable to get the job done against Colby, and saying that Robbie let the world down. Was there a part of you that was happy to see Colby get the win so you would have the opportunity to do that?
In a sense, that's a loaded question in a sense because Robbie Lawler is my teammate now. And, of course, I wanted Robbie to win. But at the same time, I'm like, if he don't, I ain't mad at you. I think Robbie just kind of had an off night. Robbie wasn't fully there. And so that's why, even in that fight, we threw a record of strikes thrown. Not landed, thrown. You threw that many strikes, Robbie Lawler walked out of there with not even a Band-Aid on his face. It is what it is. Robbie tried and, fell a little short, but now it's my turn to go out there and do what I do. And everybody knows what I do, and that's dominate from start to finish.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
I have one question. One question, because this fight, like you said it a little bit in the press conference earlier, this fight has fate to it, right? Like there's a little bit of more of a meaning to this matchup than any other fight, and I've compared it to Joe Louis, Max Schmeling back in the day, where it was, Nazi Germany versus the free world in a way. And this fight, obviously not to that degree, but you have a guy representing MAGA, representing that side of the U.S., and you have you, an immigrant, representing the exact opposite side of the U.S. So just thoughts on the meaning of this fight and the matchup, more so than just the X's and O's.
I think in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, the media and the fans will do their best to kind of start to dissect this thing and really watch this thing unfold. This is fate. This is not just any other fight. What other fight in the history of the UFC a title fight has been something like this, where the champion's only loss is to a guy that the challenger has beat, and the challenger's only loss is to a guy that the champ has beat. Their only losses. Just to talk about how in-depth this is, we live 20 miles apart, if that, apart from each other. We train, if 20 miles apart from each other. The first time I've ever watched a UFC, that I was introduced to the UFC, MMA, UFC, I was in a house party with John Jones, who happened to be the following year roommates with Colby Covington for college. The room that Colby Covington slept at while he was in college with John Jones was the room that I spent my fall break the previous year. We're in a small town, Iowa, Fort Dodge. I'm a small boy from this Auchi, Nigeria. How does this happen? That's a pretty awkward coincidence. How does this happen? His coach for a lot of years happened to be my first ever wrestling coach before he became his coach at American Top Team. And now I'm back to being my coach. Where does that happen? When fans start to dissect this thing, they're going to realize, this thing is not just, there's never been anything like this. There's never been a build-up, a hype like this. And it's, we're both wrestlers. We were wrestlers, and this is, there's not any other way I can spell it out. But like I'm saying, in the next couple of weeks, when people really start to dissect it, they're going to realize there's a reason why this is the most anticipated fight of this year.
So you two have crossed paths sort of before, just by proxy, or did you actually meet before then during this period of time? And if so, what were the interactions like then?
Never crossed paths with him. How crazy is that? Never crossed paths with him. You would think we live not that far apart. You would think we'd run into each other at a Whole Foods, maybe move some avocados around in there. Nothing. Never ran into this guy. He's been watching me for a long, long time because I was a gold standard. He always felt, which is what adds to this fight. He always felt that I shouldn't be, where he wants to be. Because he always felt privileged that this I should have this. And I worked for each and everything that I always had. I worked for it. He always felt like he should be that guy. You see him when he does interviews. Dana White promised me this. I deserve this. I deserve that. You don't deserve a damn thing in this world. You got to earn it. I'm an immigrant. I'm the real American. That's what this fight signifies. I'm the real American. Americans are immigrants. I'm the real American. I came over here worked my ass off to get to the point where I'm at. I didn't have to cheat anybody. I didn't have to lie, steal, or kill with anybody. I worked my ass off to get here. But he feels entitled. He's MAGA. Let's build this wall. Let's keep them out. You keep the immigrants out. Why you want to keep them out? You know, America is the country of immigrants, working hard, bonding together to make this a better world for everyone. And I'm the true American. He's not an American. You know, he's just another opportunist trying to hide behind patriotism, saying, oh, I did this for the troops, I did that for the troops. You know, at the end of the day, if it came down to him standing up and fighting with the troops, he wouldn't do it. I'm the real American here, and that's why I'm living the American dream.
So now, one thing I wanted to touch on with that. Now, you've definitely seemed to take into this responsibility quite well, and very accepting of what this fight represents on both sides of the fence. I mean, do you like being in this position? Is this something that a part of you enjoys, or is it just with the territory?
It comes with the territory. I don't think you necessarily choose certain things. I think you're put in certain position. I didn't choose to be the first African-born UFC champion. I was just kind of put in that position. How come there was not one in the 25 year of the company, the UFC, before me? I don't know. I was just kind of placed in that position. And one of the quotes that I live by, with great power comes great responsibility. And I've just kind of been put in the place to go out there and show this clown the ramifications of being that guy.
Now that you have this responsibility, has it made you think any differently about your career or what the future holds for you in the sport?
In a sense, it's just letting me know that I can do a lot more. This is not just about fighting. It's not just about going out there beating another guy in the cage. I have a voice, and I have to make that voice count. I have to use that voice in the best way possible to touch the masses, because I am son of an immigrant. I did grow up, having to face certain discrimination, certain bounds, certain things that I couldn't. Another one of my African brothers here. Africa. We're coming, baby.
Africa, we're gonna take over the world, inshallah.
All over.
We don't joke, brother. You might smile however you want, brother. I love people who smile, but brother, we don't talk bullshit. Inshallah, we're gonna prove you.
The real business right here. And that's exactly what I mean. I don't necessarily have to clown around. I don't necessarily have to do all that things. I understand we got to entertain, but I entertain you with my hands. I entertain you with my voice, because I'm going to do the right things.
All right, Kamaru, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.